Let's see if this is working properly. It is. I'm gonna bring the voices back on, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what Dungeon World is. Hello.
Hello, hello.
All right,
Good
so
morning.
we need a quick intro to what Dungeon World is. Would I like to do that? I suppose am I volunteering myself here?
Would you?
Sounds like it.
Would you be so
All right.
kind?
So Dungeon World is a tabletop game that is based on the Apocalypse World system. So basically a set of games called Powered by the Apocalypse because they use the same system. In this case, everything is a 2d6 roll with very simple system. Everything being 6 and under, a failure 7 through 9, a success with a cost, and 10 and above is just a success. You got character sheets with modifiers, very light. It takes like character generation in Dungeon World is like 4 minutes. It really is. It's just like, hey, throw in these numbers. Okay, you're good. It's role playing. It's tabletop role playing. Dungeon World specifically has more of a D&D-ish flavor to it. You're currently playing, fighters and druids and clerics and all those fun things. And there's a spoiler on the screen right now. Unfortunately, Yumi's not with us this morning, is she? So there's a spoiler on screen. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I have to make the overlays ahead of time. Yeah. There's a we also don't have Dio, do we?
No, we are lacking a Dio.
So
But we are going to start without her, and that's just going to change how the game begins.
oh, you've got plans. Okay. So I am Pook. I am playing Jaylin, who is the fighter, who is also an amnesiac prince who's starting to remember some of his past. Who's also a werewolf, a genetic werewolf. Interesting story going on there. Elle is playing Elle, who is the thief, and has some interesting ties now to a god of chaos.
A dragon of chaos.
Well, I mean, dragon
Dragons
god.
are different to gods. Humans
That-
see them as gods, they see themselves as gods, but they're not gods.
Okay, I mean, that's God. My head's that Twilight. Twilight. Where you think Twilight? No. That's not Twilight. And then we have with us Martkos, who is Mathan, the Druid. The thing you need to know about him is he's basically bear. He's bear. He is bear.
But I am also dire goat.
Also dire goat though. Mathin
But what
is
about dire bear?
Mathin is that screams teen young adult cover seller. Zavad, yeah. The funny thing is that I found this and I was like, yeah, he's like he's the youngin' of the group, by the way. And I was like, okay, let's see what we do with him. And then I found the artist that did it. That's actually an alternate character profile picture for Baldur's Gate. That's what that is for people who wanted custom character pictures. And I found the artist that did it, and she actually linked me to who she used the to model it off of. And yeah, I see what you're saying. It's this guy right here. Shazam.
Hold on, you're saying he's the youngin. How old is Jaylin?
17.
He's the same age as Elle.
Yeah, but he's like barely 17.
Did you just assume her birthday?
I absolutely did.
You are gonna get stabbed.
She's half elf. That makes her older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a half elf curse. Is she's older. And then of course you hear Laurel's voice, and Laurel is going to be our DM. So Laurel, take it away. What is going on today?
Well, what is going on is in our last episode, you had all had an incredible battle in this um, ancient sort of what had been a huge temple and whatnot on the edge of the forest that had been overtaken by the orcs, and they were clear cutting and at war with the great forest. And you guys wandered in, wiped them out, but you lost some companions along the way. Merideth, your dwarf barbarian friend, sacrificed her life to save Elle's, and Elle lost her beloved companion, Blue, the blue-winged griffin dog. And so there was a little bit of sadness over all of that. And Kethra had gotten herself bitten, or Elle had also been taken by the dark mad god, who is a draconic creature, or no, a draconic creature called Wiro, and put in a maze. And everybody went to rescue her, and there were lots and lots of werewolves that Jaylin had to fight. And at one point, yeah, Wiro and Elle were having a conversation, and it's like, so how many of his own kind can Jaylin fight at once? And she goes, and Elle had said, Jaylin can take on 20. And so Wiro set up 20 werewolves to attack Jaylin. And you guys got through 14 of them?
16.
16 before making your escape. Unfortunately, your beloved Kethra got infected with lycanthropy because she had a bit of the blood herself. As
Really freaking confusing. He's like, wait, we can bite people and do that?
You're not sure, but you know that she got bitten and scratched, and she had her change, and Jaylin managed to calm her down. But now she is tossing and turning in fever. And Jaylin, you've been tending her.
As one would do, yeah.
Yeah. But at one point you fall asleep yourself just because you've had a long battle. Things have been going on, and with her cuddled in your lap, you start to fall asleep.
Aww, okay.
As you fall asleep, you see a hooded figure in your dreams with a shadowy cloak rippling around, very tall. And you sense the presence of Belle, Kethra's god.
Oh. What do you want? Because we know how he deals with religion right now. It's like, he actually asks, he's like, what do you want?
And Belle whispers, an exchange. And let me know if you actually heard that or not.
I did. And he's like, what are we exchanging and what am I getting?
One of your secrets. For the secret that will save her life.
He stops to think about it. He hadn't considered that she might be dying. But, he goes, I don't know what secrets I have to give.
That's unfortunate. I feel the death near her. She will not survive the transformation.
Then what would you have me do?
Find a secret very quickly. And Jaylin wakes up.
And he's just like, as he's waking up, he goes, He's just like, I don't understand. He goes, what is kept secret from the gods? Don't they see all?
And Elle and Mathin, you hear Jaylin start talking in his sleep, or perhaps talking in his waking
Yeah.
up from sleep.
Okay, so Mathan looks over at Jaylin and just thinks to himself, just this boy, like, why is he never normal, you know? Like, he does werewolf things, he's now speaking to himself.
Poor Mathin. Mathin is just like the cranky old moss bear who's like,
Yeah,
why am I
you know
babysitting
what?
this one?
I was quite happy alone in my forest, and now suddenly I'm dragged into this. I've been dragged into this weird maze thing. There's chaos dragons, there's werewolves, there's muttering now. Just, just goddamn it.
He
So
is
yeah,
he is angry muttering too. He's like half asleep, angry muttering.
but yeah, he
Yeah.
gets up and he goes over to Jaylin and yeah, he's kind of like he's got a bit of a gruff in his tone. He's like, "What are you muttering about now?"
Huh? Huh? And he opens his eyes. He goes, "What do you want?"
I don't know. You were the one talking.
Yeah. He starts to rub at his head. And he's like, I think, I, I think a god just visited me."
A god?
Yeah, the one that sheep race to all the time. He just kind of gestures together.
And what did she want?
uh, she thinks that Kethra's not going to survive the change, and wants to offer me the secret of the cure in exchange for one of my own secrets. He goes, "I don't understand. What do I have that a god wouldn't know?"
You really are as dumb as you look.
Are you yourself right now, or are you the dragon talking through you again?
I am myself. Me and the
Oh,
dragon came to a consensus.
yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, I might be dumb, but I'm not dumb enough to let a dragon control me dumb. So, what's your input?
Well, I mean, I was going to try and save her life, but after that outburst, maybe I should just let Belle live her to die.
And Mathan looks at Elle, uh, and just shakes his head. It's like, no, no, Elle, come on, if
Oh,
you can
come on,
help
I
her,
don't think I'd leave her to die.
well,
You're
get
full of
on with it then.
surprises.
Foolish pup. Your own blood is full of secrets.
He looks confused at that. Okay. He goes, "So how do I offer my blood to a god?"
Would you like to extract it, or shall I?
Jaylin takes on a defensive posture.
Elle's just going to hand him a vial.
And then he relaxes. Uh, so Jaylin is actually going to just shift one fingernail into a claw, and slice into his arm and put some blood in the vial. I guess, okay, now what?
You must pray. Or go back to sleep. I assume she'll come back to you.
How am I supposed to sleep at a time like this?
And Mathan like raises his staff. He's like, I could help.
You guys, I don't know how. I I don't know how I got stuck with you guys. But I appreciate the offer, but I think I have a better idea. And he's gonna get up and go through Kethra's belongings again to get the stuff that he used to set up the altar the last time he went praying on his own.
Yeah, because that went so well.
It did actually.
Well, yeah.
And
I believe there was a threat made though.
he wants to set up a little bit of a prayer altar this time to Belle, and he's going to ask specifically Belle for their guidance. He's gonna name Belle out loud this time. Though I think if Laurel's with us.
I am.
Okay.
I am with you. And Belle reappears and gestures towards the blood and says, I accept your tribute, however grudging you provide it, because she is special to me.
Same.
She goes,
and the same.
And Belle takes the blood and the vial, and it's crushed in his hand. And Jaylin, in his dream, sees his own blood start trickling through Belle's fingers. But as it's trickling, it becomes far more blood than was in the vial. And each drop glistens, and each drop is a memory. And they're tiny, they're passing through so quickly. But each is an image of something that happened in Jaylin's life. Some he recognizes outright, like scenes from the Gladiator's Ring.
Yeah.
And events that have happened since he met the others, and since he joined the Thieves Guild, and ones of his early past are fewer than the ones that are more common. But Belle snatches a single drop and hands it back to him, and says, take this with you back to the Living Lands. And Jaylin wakes up again, only this time cupped in his hands is a bloodstone. It's completely round like a pearl. But as you are looking at it, and as Elle and Mathin are looking at it too, it starts to glow, and sort of a holograph begins to appear above you all. And you see a very young Jaylin. Perfect timing. A very young Jaylin, who appears to be in a wolf form, of an actual wolf. And there's a very young Kethra with big eyes. And there is a priestess of some kind who's standing with her hand on Kethra's shoulder. And Kethra, this is what you are dreaming in a feverish dream.
Okay.
And the matron says, now, you must be careful not to let him claw or bite you, for you are close enough in lineage that it is possible that he could infect you with his blessing and his curse. So you must always handle him with care, until the two of you have completed your full union. You yourself must not become fully awake, for girls do not survive the full transformation. You would become
Sexist.
a a shifter for a short time, but by the time your full moon was done, the madness would burn you out, and you would either die killing everything around you or die killing yourself. She goes, but don't worry, if we do have means, a magical means, that if he does scratch or bite you, uh, to save you. So you must report it if it does happen. But I trust you, girl, to be smarter and more clever than that. And the vision fades. And Kethra's going to wake up, and she's going to wake up to be having her head and shoulders in Jaylin's lap, where he's holding this bloodstone above her, and Mathin and Elle are watching. And Kethra, you're just sweaty and exhausted. You feel like your blood is on fire.
That is not a good way to wake up.
And Jaylin looks down at her and goes, "You all right?"
What happened?
You changed.
What? And you just see the blood drain out of my face, because yeah, that's not good.
You changed, and your Belle talked to me.
Oh?
You're not long for this world.
No, I'm not.
This is supposed to help me find the cure for you, though.
Did Mathan and Elle see that play out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
they did.
So Mathan looks down at Kethra and he says, "Did they ever tell you what this magical cure was?"
And my head is fuzzy still from the dream. And I'm like, yes?
What do you remember them telling you?
About lore.
Yeah.
Oh God, spout lore. I'm no good at these rolls. Oh, that is an intelligence roll, yes?
Yes.
Ooh,
nice.
Thank the dice.
You remember that they had a cup of sorts. It was more like a cornucopia that was made out of a unicorn's horn, and that they just poured water in it, and that cured people of anything, including getting bitten by their charges.
We need to find the cup.
which cup?
I don't remember. Wait. It's a really special cup. They use it in all of the cures, all of the healings. It's made out of unicorn horn?
Jaylin raises a brow, looks to the others.
And Mathan frowns at hearing that it was a horn of a unicorn. Because yeah, that implies that it has been taken from the unicorn, and yeah, that is a bad thing. But a thought does come to him. And you hear him kind of mumble to himself. And he looks down at Kethra and he says, I may have an idea. Not long ago, before all of this happened, I travelled north through the forest and came across a glen. And it was very special, filled with a lot of fae, but more importantly, there was a unicorn. I wonder if they can help.
Sounds like that's the only plan we've got right now.
So what? We walk up to a unicorn and ask it for its horn?
That may be the problem. She was, yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't want to get handed over politely, he pats the sword at his side.
And Mathan looks furious at Jaylin, and yeah, he just like lashes out with his staff and like bonks him on the head. And he just looks at Jaylin and he's like, let's just put a rest to that idea right now.
He goes,
And, well, Elle's going to pat Mathin on the shoulder and say, don't worry, buddy, we don't have to kill it. How do you think horses were made?
I don't think it works that way for unicorns.
Jaylin, who was angry and going to reply that he would do anything to save Kethra, here's what Elle says and just facepalms instead.
And he goes on to tell them that the unicorn had spoken to him, and that it was hiding itself from anyone that wasn't a druid, as it has the power to grant a single wish to a person. But because of this, it had been sought out by the wrong type of people, selfish people, people that wish to use that wish for bad. And yeah, he again looks pointedly at Jaylin, you know, people coming with murder in their hearts. But I can't see any other option.
If they use the horn for their healing magics, then the unicorn itself should possess some sort of healing. We don't actually have to take the horn, I don't think. So,
I mean, I'm sure it would make a great dagger.
And
I'm
Mathin
gonna
just
look at Elle
sighs.
this time.
Gosh,
You just hear-
calm down. Group can't even take a joke.
Jaylin is going to get up and help Kethra up. So, I'm going to need you to not get emotional.
Okay. Do you know me at all?
He actually responds with, I know me.
Okay.
Dagger of healing magic. Stab somebody with a unicorn horn in their heel. Oh, there's your melee healer. He goes,
And I kind of sort of take your meaning and I just get really quiet and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try.
And then he puts an arm around her shoulders and goes, you're going to be far better at this than I am. You're the one with the training.
I've never had to calm myself down.
So, Kethra, Just in case, should I hold on to that flute for you?
Jaylin makes a face but says nothing. He's just like, he hates that flute. He hates that flute with a passion.
And Elle's is gonna say to Jaylin, well, you see, if she goes out of control, it may be the only means of keeping her under control.
Jaylin goes, you doubt the power of my belly rubs. He actually says that.
I mean, yes, I do doubt the power of your belly rubs, because I think you just got lucky last time.
And I look at Elle and I look at Jaylin and I say, you know what, Jaylin? If we both lose control, that may be our only chance. And I'm going to hand the flute to Elle.
Yay, flute playing.
Jaylin's like, why does everybody think I'm gonna lose control?
And I just place my hand on his and say, because it's me and because it's us. And I squeeze your hand and then I just go back to the group.
I swear when I find Wiro, I'm killing him.
Oh, me too. That bastard owes me a dog.
Oh, okay, so out of character, Jaylin would not say this. So I'm gonna say it. And he's gonna be like, well, we did kind of gain one.
Oh,
Wow.
Sorry.
Wait, does that mean I'm going to become Elle's pet now?
No, that's
I mean,
Mathin.
Elle is
No,
just
no.
collecting all the animals, so
Elle's got a new pet. She don't need no other pet at the moment. But she doesn't even know about her new pet yet.
So we need to go find this unicorn that only Mathin is going to be able to approach that can grant a wish. Because he's after my lucky charms.
So, is the group going to break camp, head north?
Yeah.
yes.
And we're going to let Mathin take the lead because he says he's been there before.
Yep.
Can I ride on Mathan?
Mathin isn't changing, so unless you want a piggyback, then no.
That'll work.
So, Elle, as you're all headed north with Mathin leading the way, do you guys encounter any interesting creatures?
A winged squirrel.
You encounter a winged squirrel. Yes! What is the winged squirrel doing?
Gathering nuts, of course.
So here's a new question. Elle, do you do anything to the winged squirrel?
Nah, the winged squirrel could be left in peace.
Alrighty.
She doesn't want to annoy Mathan more than she already has.
All right.
I love
So,
world building. I mean.
all right. Today is a token-free day. Instead, we're just going to have visual images.
Aw. Okay. You know how much I love just spinning other people's tokens?
Mathin, you lead everyone through the forest, and you guys spend a couple of days traveling north. But eventually you come across the right path, and you take them to what looks like a tunnel where the trees have kind of grown together to surround it, and there's a shining gold light at the end. And you know from your first experience through that the fairy glen, the fairy forest, is on the other side of the shining light. The first time you guys came through alone, there was nothing on this side guarding the entrance. What is there this time, however?
I'm going to say some Spriggans.
Kethra, how many Spriggans?
12.
As you guys get closer to it, the Spriggans form a wall right in front of it. And they just kind of they kind of have their arms folded, barring the way.
And
So
Mathin.
Are we thinking Final Fantasy 14 Spriggans here? Or
No, I was thinking more like, like
Like
kind
the
of
actual-
tree spirit
yeah.
type thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just for my own mental imagery. Yeah.
Although I don't know, I kind of like the idea of it being the Spriggans from 14. Just 12 of those little dudes in a line.
And the way they're forming the wall is they're stacking on top of each other.
Oh my god, yes.
And then passing a rock in between each other, basically.
Oh yes, and the one that's holding the rock is the one that speaks. So as we speak to them, like the voice keeps changing.
You know what? Let's go with that. Laurel, is that good? Let's do that.
That is perfectly fine, you weirdos. And they are not speaking, but they are bouncing up and down a little.
So Mathin steps forward from the group and he kneels in front of the Spriggan wall, and he bows his head and he says, "I come to you as a guardian of this forest and a druid." May we pass?
Its response is to throw a rock at you. Defy danger.
I guess I can't talk anymore. It doesn't have a rock.
The rock misses you, but as it's the rock misses you, but the others start to glow.
Okay. And would I recognize what this glow means, or?
They're about to assault you all. All 12 of them. Thank you, Kethra.
I'm sorry.
Elle, roll
Yes.
Constitution.
Wait, hold on. Why?
This is basically a willpower check. They're kind of entertaining. They don't seem particularly dangerous.
Can I walk up and start tickling one?
Make a dex roll.
Oh, Jesus. 12 sprigging.
Elle lunges, and you're used to seeing her lunge with her dagger out, But instead, she lunges at it. She starts tickling it. It starts glowing pink and giggling, just giggling and giggling and giggling and like falling over and making squeaky sounds. And the other 11 of them are like just staring. And then they're looking at the rest of you suspiciously. And they take a step back.
I'm just gonna turn to Mathin and be like, "They're cute. Can I have one?"
Jaylin steps forward, holding out his hands like he might be threatening to tickle another one.
Yeah, Mathin does the same.
All right, make your parlay rolls.
Parlay. Oh, it's charisma based. Oh, fun.
Yep.
Mathin, they don't think you're going to tickle them. On
10.
the other hand, Jaylin causes them to just freak out, panic, and run away. All except for the one that Elle has under her power.
So Jaylin is going to intimidate Spriggans with tickles. I can't. All right.
What is this game?
What is this game? Mathin, take your XP for not intimidating Spriggans with tickles. I just like saying that.
I'm just gonna sigh, looking at Mathin and be like, "You couldn't even convince them you're going to tickle them."
Right. Elle, make an intelligence roll. This is for lore.
Yay, lore. Apparently, I know all.
Take your XP. You know nothing about Spriggans.
As it should be. I mean, she's not from this world.
And eventually, the one that Elle has been tickling manages to make its escape. And the gateway is now free.
Well, that was an interesting way of dealing with things.
I mean, we could have eaten them.
No, freaking sprout head over there would have got pissy.
Okay. Animals eating animals is the natural order of things.
Mathin.
Not in his forest.
Yes.
Make a constitution roll.
Nope.
Take your XP.
Take your XP. I'll get back to you in private.
Okay. I'm scared.
Mathin.
Let's just say Elle's comment came across more as an insult than a friendly poke this time. She's
To
been
be fair, it was an insult.
you feel there's some stirring anger inside you, Mathin.
Okay.
Take it as you will.
Hey, what's up, Head? We gotta talk Changeling.
The group is able to proceed forward into the light. Who's going first?
Jaylin looks to
I think-
Mathin.
Yeah, I
Both
think
after
Mathin
the
will.
Spriggan. I want it.
As you walk through, you feel just the power of the Fae and the Faerie coming through you. You all feel it, but Mathin in particular because of his connection to the forest. Now, when you came through before, what was the animal that you felt the most affinity for here in the fairy forest?
Not the Spriggan.
And not the Spriggan. Um,
Oh god, a were Spriggan.
and Pook, if you move us north or upwards, there'll be another picture. I know.
Ooh, shiny.
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 And here's what you all walk out into.
Okay. Ooh, that's a really pretty picture. Okay, animal. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say like small birds, like the glen's kind of alive with just like sparrows and blue jays, just just swarming around with small birds.
The birds that fly down, they're a beautiful metallic blue. And some of them have pixies riding on their backs. And they start kind of swarming curiously around you all as you come through.
And Mathin looks to. I mean, I take it because of his time being there, he knows they're not threatening, or are they going to be threatening?
They were not threatening before.
Okay. Yeah, so he just looks at the others and says, they have no reason to bother us if we don't bother them. And he looks pointedly at Jaylin and Elle, and looks down at their weapons. Is like, just keep them sheathed.
Gosh, you think we're some sort of mad murderers? We only kill when we need to.
And Mathin looks at Elle and he's like, when you prove otherwise, then I won't think that. And he says it with a bit of a glare to Elle.
Gosh, someone's got his underwear in a twist. Get out of the wrong side of the tent, did you?
Jaylin looks to Kethra and goes, "Trouble in paradise?"
And Mathin just like turns away and starts walking into the glen.
And as you guys go forward, um, Kethra, what is something else, something fairy-ish that you behold as you're walking through, and kind of the path at this point is turned into this beautiful little brook, shimmering with lots of stones and whatnot.
So there are certain flowers like on the ground as we walk through that they're glittering. They're not like stones or anything. They're just glittering. And every once in a while the glittering effect of the flower actually will leave the flower and kind of flit off in the air.
Oh, like tiny little sparks that just
Yeah.
whip and whirl around you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Elle, some of that starts happening to you, like you're walking through a couple of them, and the glittering just starts to shimmer and surround around you. How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I was curious about it.
And as you kind of pause to look at it, it's just like tiny little shimmers of silver and glow and iridescent colors. Um, each tiny little spark, it's almost as if you can start hearing them sing. Um, and there's just a sense of incredible wonder.
Can I attempt to catch a few in a vial?
Yes, yes, you can. And as soon as you get them in the vial, they just lose their color and become little sparks of ash.
And
And
what would happen if I was to let them free again?
open it up. And as you put them as you kind of dump it out into your hand, for a moment, there just remains ash. And then the wind with the others ripples around, and as soon as it catches them, they regain their glow and take off once more. And at this point, the same little sparkles start surrounding everybody else, and they're just singing to you. The music doesn't have any words, but it has a beautiful harmony and rhythm to it all. It sounds like very joyous children's songs, in a sense. It has that kind of upbeat happiness to it.
We probably shouldn't disturb them.
And yeah, Mathin turns to the others and sees, just as they turn from that ash back into their other form, and he shakes his head and he looks at them and he says, "Taking things from here will serve you no purpose. Everything here is connected to the power in this area. As soon as you leave, it will fade, it will die. You might as well just leave them."
I wasn't trying to take them. I was curious to see what drove them. I want to study them, not kill them.
We don't want to hurt this place, Mathin. I promise.
And he looks at Kethra and his expression relaxes a little and he nods and carries on walking further in.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And as you guys progress down the path, or along the river, Mathin, you reach the place where you had seen the unicorn the first time. She's not there presently, and so as you just continue on through the glen, you go further than you did the first time, and everything starts to get a little darker, and there's sort of a change to the feeling of the place. It is still very much of the Faerie, but it's sort of a darker, um in changeling terms, a little bit more unseelie, a little wilder, a little um
So it's still it's like a natural wildness. It's not like the place doesn't feel corrupted or anything.
no, very much wild, but there's a darker and more dangerous aspect to it.
Okay.
And you come across, just a moment here, a set of stones, and sitting upon the stones is a fairy a fairy boy. He looks like a boy, but he's much bigger than the ones that were riding the birds. Give it a moment here.
Speaking of,
Where
where is our son in all of this?
he is following along. He is having some wonderful antics of like chasing the fairies and playing and getting himself into minor mischief and getting called back.
I like, even Jaylin's like, yeah, Iago, my son. And I'm like, no, you're not old enough to have a son. Look at that.
That's adorable.
Iago takes one look at him and he's about to run forward and try to pounce the fairy boy unless stopped.
So as Iago is running by Jaylin, Jaylin just wraps his arms around him, picks him up, and turns around to face the other way. Kind of like the redirecting the running kid. Just the
Jaylin!
Because let's leave well enough alone. Unless he says he wants to play.
And the fairy boy is going, play with a baby dragon. I can play with a baby dragon.
You can see that he's a baby dragon.
He goes, of course I can see he's a baby dragon. Can't you?
Well, we know he's a baby dragon, but I wouldn't know that just to look at him.
That's because you're not a fairy. And he sounds very contemptuous. It's like, you're just a mudblood.
Wow.
He goes,
And he goes,
Jaylin goes, I'm something far bigger than a fairy.
then he looks and goes, and you're just a scruffwuff.
It's like, yeah, I absolutely like being a scruffwuff. Don't insult me.
He goes, well, I am Pharaoh Willowtoad. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
And Mathin bows to him, and he says, a pleasure to meet you as well. I am Mathin, a druid of this forest.
He goes, hello, druid. You are neither a mudblood or a Wufflepuff.
No,
or
he's
whatever.
Just old and gnarly.
He's not that old. He's not that gnarly.
He's damn grumpy, that's what he is.
And Mathin just shoots Elle a glare and turns back to the boy.
And he goes, you don't seem grumpy to me. Does she make you grumpy?
He kind of just grumbles under his breath. Yes.
He goes, let me fix that for you. Elle, roll defy danger for me. Take your pick. Oh, that was
Wow.
Whoa! Is this an Elle character?
Hey, mine rolled D100s.
okay. That was a 7. And the little fairy boy like whips out his hand and sends a blast of fairy magic in your direction, and you just dodge out of the way. And he's giggling, so he does it again and again, and you just like dance around, avoiding the fairy, and he's laughing.
Jaylin grabs for his shield.
And the fairy boy like wiggles his eyebrows at the shield, and he goes, "Oh, really? Is that a challenge?"
No.
Mathin steps in between them, and he looks at Jaylin and his shield and says, "Put it down." And he looks back to the fairy boy, and he says, "We are not here to make any challenges. We're here looking for the unicorn."
And he says, and I'm here to play a game. That's what Jaylin says.
Oh,
Not now,
Jaylin,
Jaylin.
games? You'd spoken to Wero recently? He might have a few of them for you.
No, I don't like his kind of games.
The fairy boy goes, "Who's Wero?"
Ugh, don't. Ugh.
And Elsa's gonna smirk and say, maybe I would have told you if you hadn't attacked me.
That wasn't attacking you.
Sounds like I just wanted to see what happened if one of the beams hit the shield.
He goes, "Well, I have good news and bad news about the unicorn.
Oh?
Uh-oh.
And since you guys aren't making enough fun, I'll just give you the bad news. The bad news is that Indigo Twinkle Twist has her.
And who's that?
A very big and a very dark fairy princess. She lives that way." And he points down the river some more.
So, Laurel, I would like to use that move that we discussed, and I would like to ask Wero for a bit more information about this fairy.
Make that move.
I am gonna roll this charisma, and I am hoping this is not a 6.
Oh, good.
That's a 9, damn it. That's just as bad.
So read to me what a 9 does for this move.
Basically, he'll give me the information once I've done something for him.
Excellent. So you reach out, and which of the fairies were you asking about?
The indigo one.
All right. And Wero goes, "You must find her. And you must," in your kind of in your head, goes, "First you must find her. And you must find the unicorn. You'll find the unicorn first. I'll give you that much." It goes, "And you must take some hairs from the unicorn's tail and create a bracelet. You'll be giving the bracelet to me eventually. And then I'll tell you everything you want to know about this fairy after you make the bracelet out of the unicorn's tail hairs."
And Elle just says, deal.
Jaylin,
Yes.
Wero is in your head.
No.
Wero is in your head and goes, "Oh, we shall play a game today, my friend. Just be careful. Your Kethra is the prize."
He goes, I am going to enjoy every moment of your death.
Do we hear that?
Jaylin, do you say that out loud?
Yes, he says it out loud.
Elle, after hearing that, is just gonna sigh and just say to Wero, would you leave him alone already?
Never.
Then you're gonna be harassing him for a long time, because he's still under my protection.
You should tell him that someday.
Maybe I will, but you just leave him alone for now.
For now.
And Jaylin turns to Iago and goes, "We're going to help you grow big and strong."
We offered to help keep him safe, not encourage violence in him.
I didn't say anything about violent. I said big and strong.
We both know what he is, and I know what you said. Be careful, Jaylin.
And Elle's gonna go over to Iago, give him a little, ruffle his hair, kneel down and whisper and just say, "One day, we're gonna go after Wero."
And Iago sighs and goes, "Yeah, but I'll need to be a much, much bigger dragon by then." And he gives Jaylin sort of a sad look, and he goes, "I wish my uncle wouldn't make him mad. I don't like it when Jaylin gets mad."
Neither do I, pup. Neither do I.
What is everybody going to do?
We have to find a unicorn. Jaylin is going to shift into a wolf.
Excellent. You find it incredibly easy to shift in the fairy forest. Neither you nor Mathin need to make rolls to shift so long as you are here in the fairy glen. The magic of the place makes that very easy.
Okay.
So, like water. Now there's a white wolf standing there.
Kethra, you feel a compulsion to shift when you see him shift. Roll Defy Danger Constitution.
Oh no!
Oh.
Take your
Oh,
XP.
the double ones.
Kethra, you can't control it. You shift too.
But does she shift into werewolf?
She shifts into a wolf.
Ooh.
A very hungry, starving, angry wolf.
Oh no!
Yeah, Elle's just gonna grab Iago and make for the nearest tree.
I won't make you roll. You can get up the tree with Iago.
Jaylin's wondering when she got the wolf shift. He's like, wow, she actually is pretty better at this than I am. And she totally went, "Ooh."
Kethra, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mathin smells like food.
Druids are friends, not food.
Mathin,
Mm-hmm.
the way she's looking at you, you know that if you move, she's going to give. If you bolt the way Elle did with Iago, she is going to give chase.
Okay. Damn it.
I assume Jaylin can read this as well.
Oh yes, you can.
He's going to put himself between her and Mathin.
I feel like I'm going to growl at Jaylin.
Growl at Jaylin.
I'm not actually literally going to growl at him.
Oh, come on. I want to hear the growl, Dio.
Yeah, if I've got to do
Growl.
goat noises,
Growl.
you've got to growl.
Yeah, we make Frank howl, so
I don't wanna.
I'll make you the same deal. I'll give you an XP if you growl.
Oh, that's not fair.
Do you want the XP? She's considering it over there.
It's too early for me to cry.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll give Dio a pass.
I would like to roll charisma, because he is going to growl back, and he has the wolf alpha necklace.
Absolutely.
And he's going to fail that roll because it's
Oh,
Kethra. Because it's Kethra. And he can't he can't threaten her.
Well, good job. Elle's up to her shenanigans.
So, Kethra,
Yes.
your mate just growled at you and he's protecting the food. Nothing is going right.
Codex, what's up? You said the banned word. How are you doing?
I will give you a choice. You can run off in frustration. You can attempt to get around Jaylin to get to the food, or you can attack Jaylin.
I'm going to attempt to get around him.
Both of you roll dex.
I will do it.
Am I supposed to roll?
You can roll dex too.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Kethra, you lunge, but both of them can tell what you're doing. And Mathin is easily able to tuck himself out of the way. And Jaylin, describe how you subdue her.
He's gonna blindside her. She's moving towards Mathin, right? So he's going to basically just tackle her from the side.
Right.
And he's gonna throat her. Pin her down, put his jaw to her throat.
Had you make her whine?
So, Laurel,
Yes.
Elle at this point in the tree, she's given Iago the flute and covered her own ears.
Oh.
I'll let you do what you want with that.
Wow. So Iago starts to play the flute, and as he's playing the flute, the sound starts, but before it can even the first notes reach the party below. You remember those birds that I was talking about earlier that had the little fairies on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 of them charge right at the flute, and they wrap their little bird talons around it, and they fly off with it. The fairies on their backs laughing and cheering.
Oh, way to go.
Awesome.
And Iago starts to cry. It's like, I can't do anything right. And that's when the branch you guys are on breaks.
Oh.
Hold on, we lost the flute. Do we really deserve that?
Would the sound of Iago crying, like, kind of grab Kethra's attention and maybe bring her, like, back to reality a little bit?
Give yourself a Constitution roll, plus 1.
So that would be a 9.
Yes, at this point in time, you realize kind of Iago's crying. Jaylin has you pinned. You hate being a wolf. You're aware of what's happening, and you just Jaylin, you can sense that she's about to transform back into human.
Yeah, so I let her go. Back up a step. He's staying a wolf, though.
All right. Elle, I'm going to make you roll Dex because this is going to be you doing an acrobatic defy danger to not just simply fall, but have Iago and land on your feet anyway. Okay, take your pick. Do you land on your feet, or do you land with Iago basically protected in your arms?
I land with Iago protected.
All right. Down Elle goes. Iago's unhurt, and Elle take 1d4 damage. Ow.
Oh, wow.
You land in a way where you sprain your ankle. And the fairies that have the flute just are gone. They've disappeared into the forest. And Iago's going, Elle, I'm sorry.
It's alright, kid. Although we should really have your mother have words with those fairies.
And he kind of sighs and he goes, today's not fun anymore. Meanwhile, the boy that was on the rocks has just fallen over. He is laughing from all of this so hard. Like he can't, he's just rolling on the ground, laughing over everything that just happened.
You know that white wolf? That white wolf that Jaylin is? Just approaches the boy and starts sniffing at him.
He can't stop even while you're sniffing at him.
The am I going to make this food sniff? any bears?
So as Jaylin's doing that, Mathin goes over to Kethra, who I'm assuming is back to human.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have clothes?
No.
No.
You have a cloak, though. You have the cloak because Jaylin gave her the cloak.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So he grabs edges of the cloak and covers her up and looks at her and is like, "Are you back with us, girl?"
For now.
And he turns to the others and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to be quick about this. I think we should get moving."
I would like to discern realities. Basically, he wants to search. The reason he shifted into a wolf is because he wants to try to track a unicorn.
Right. By all means.
I've got adventuring gear. Can I pull out I don't like a set of robes or something to give to Kethra?
Yes, you can have some spare clothes in there that will fit her good enough. Probably belted up. Like it was your shirt, so on her it's more of a dress, but with a belt it'll be fine. But
I mean, being an elf, he's not super, bulky or anything. So
no,
She is super tiny.
okay.
So
Yeah, he hands her some stuff and.
Yes,
I have
Elle.
hunting and tracking.
Yes. Let's
Can
do
I
this.
roll that?
First, we're going to do Jaylin's discern realities roll.
Okay, wisdom. 9.
Ask your question.
I ask. Let's see. What should I be on the lookout for?
The unicorn will probably respond poorly to anything humanoid approaching it. But if you were to scout ahead, it probably would ignore a wolf.
So Jaylin, thinking he can communicate this to the others, turns around and holds up a single paw, like, stop. And then he turns away from them and starts padding off.
All right, now Elle. You wanted to make a hunting and tracking roll. Do you want to follow after Jaylin, despite his saying his wolfish way of saying hold back?
Honestly, after seeing that, I'd want to follow him, but more stealthed.
I was going to say, make your stealth roll. So, I will give you a choice. You can follow after Jaylin, so that no one but he is aware that you are following, or you can follow after Jaylin and he's oblivious to you being there, but something in the forest is going to notice you.
I'll take it that he notices me, because he's less dangerous than the forest.
All right. Meanwhile, Iago comes to Kethra after she's dressed, after she's ducked herself away, and just gives her a hug and goes, "I lost the flute. I am so sorry. The fairies took it."
And Kethra is going to kneel down so that they're face to face and just wrap him in her arms and just say, "But we didn't lose you, and that's more important than any flute. It's okay."
He sighs and he goes, "Are you okay?"
For now. I'm okay for now.
Okay. So, Jaylin and Elle, as both of you continue down the river, the forest itself changes and the trees become a little bit more violet. The stream broadens out a bit and gets deeper. The flowers have a new scent. It's kind of musky and strong, and strong in a pungent way, where it's it's more like the smell of a woman's perfume, and it's kind of heady and it makes you feel strange, um in a kind of unsettling way, as the forest has become a bit more gloomy and dark, and both of you are aware that you're in the presence of magic. And in the water itself, you behold the unicorn. And it's got its own kind of gothy uh, aspect to it, where its mane and its tail are kind of a dark violet purple, and its horn isn't so much shimmering as you've seen in pictures and stories. Um, and as soon as it beholds the wolf, it starts stamping the water in kind of a challenge.
Jaylin, instead of approaching, takes a seat. And he's going to try, even though he doesn't understand if it'll, he doesn't know if it'll understand him or not. But he's actually going to try, he gives a whine, a whimper that says, "We need your help."
And the unicorn goes, what manner of help?"
Someone close to me has been, well, as far as wolf speak goes, this is going to be, I'm not even going to try wolf speak, guys. Just imagine that. Just use your imagination. My mate has been stricken with lycanthropy.
And it just kind of snorts at you and goes, goes, isn't this a good thing for you?
She will not survive.
Oh. And it kind of sighs and goes, and I suppose you want me to save her.
Not without me doing something in return. I wouldn't ask for free.
And it kind of swishes its tail back and forth. And he goes, what do you offer?
I know that one of the Fae named Indigo troubles you.
And it gets a strange look upon its face, and he goes, I cannot speak of these things.
Then I would do something for you that we cannot speak of.
Very well. Where is she?
He turns to look in the direction he came from. She's not
Yeah,
alone.
I was going to say, by this point, would be have been following on.
Yeah, basically how close you guys are is determined by how much you wanted to actually listen to Jaylin when he said stay back. Because who knows if you guys actually understood him or not.
I feel like Kethra would have kind of understood him, and she's going to actually, for once, listen.
Yeah, and Mathin's going to be sticking close to Kethra because the other two have taken off, and after what just happened, he's loath to kind of leave her to her own devices, especially with Iago around.
All right, just 1 second. I'm sending Elle a quick message.
I blame
Yay.
Dave as well. I think I'm with Head on that one. Head says, "What a bitchy unicorn." I blame Dave.
I mean, I blame Dave too, but he's only just gotten out of bed, so.
Different Dave.
A different Dave, but you know, all Dave eat unicorns, maybe.
Who the shit is Dave? See, this is not Varos' stream where we can't say that. It's a running joke. So many Daves.
I love all the Daves.
Roses are red. My name is Dave. This makes no sense. Microwave.
So the unicorn starts walking upstream with the two of you. And
I may have distracted Laurel. I apologize.
sorry, she did for a second.
Oh, did she send you the sexiness?
Then that'll be interesting. She follows after the two of you, and Mathin and Kethra and Iago agreed to what you said to him softly, Kethra, and he just nodded his head. That he would try and do his best to stay safe, so that Mathin didn't have to protect him. Okay, and so as you guys start coming, as you're talking, it's interrupted, and you see the white wolf coming back with the unicorn following.
Jaylin actually pauses and says, "Remember, she's not alone, but they mean you no harm."
And abruptly, the unicorn suddenly, it looks like something from the ground kind of lunges up, and it's a shadowy thing, and grabs for the unicorn's tail with its mouth. And the unicorn jerks and like flings its tail, and something shadowy vanishes into the trees and is looking annoyed. Elle, roll 1d6.
Hmm.
Okay. And then the unicorn just kind of shakes itself and looks at Mathin. And Mathin, um, roll discern realities for me as you're looking at the unicorn, because it looks very different than how it appeared, how you saw it the first time. And you can ask one question off the list or something close to it.
Okay, let's see. What should I be on the look?
The unicorn has clearly been enspelled in some way by this fairy that has been talking about. So it's very possible that the fairy is already aware of you all.
Okay. And Mathan walks slowly over to can, like, I take it, yeah, we are able to converse.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Here's at it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, everybody can speak to the unicorn, and the unicorn kind of mind speaks back.
Okay. Yeah, so he walks over to it and is kind of peering at this change, and he like lowers his head and he says, "Hello again, my friend. Is everything well with you?"
She goes, "No, not well."
And he says, "We have come here looking for your help, but it seems you may also need ours."
And she sort of nods her head and goes, "Perhaps, but I cannot ask it of you." And she stresses that word, "I cannot," or those words, I should say.
And Mathin nods his head with a little bit of understanding, and says, "We already have an idea of what troubles you, and we will do our best to see this righted." And he motions over to Kethra, and he says, "Are you able to help now, or do we need to help you first?"
And goes, "It depends upon what she wishes for."
And he walks back over to Kethra and like takes her hand and leads her slowly back over. Bring her in front of the unicorn.
And the unicorn goes, "What is your name?" To Kethra.
I'm Kethra.
She goes, "Hello, Kethra. What do you wish?" And then pauses for a moment and goes, Choose wisely and carefully.
And Kethra kind of looks at the ground, and she says, "The thing I wish for most is that my friends," and then she pauses and says, "No, my family." And then she kind of puts her hand on Jaylin and reaches out for Iago and kind of grabs his hand and just says, "I want my family to be safe."
She goes, safe from whom?
From me. And she kind of like starts to cry again.
And the unicorn turns and looks at Jaylin and goes, "Do you share this wish?"
Yes.
And then
Absolutely.
he turns to Iago and goes, "And do you share this wish?" And Iago goes, "Yes, but not if it's going to hurt her. She has to be safe too." And the unicorn kind of nods its head and says, "Touch my horn, priestess of Bel."
And my hands are just trembling. And I reach out and I just very gently place my hands on the horn.
Roll wisdom plus your bond with Jaylin.
Okay.
That's 13.
Oh man.
Jaylin and Kethra, both of you feel it as the horn actually begins to glow and power emanates through the horn into Kethra. And Kethra, you feel that the lycanthropy burning away in a way that doesn't hurt. In fact, you feel just a very cool healing touch emanating through you. And you feel the unicorn, your wish placing a geese upon you, where you cannot cause harm to Jaylin or Iago, cause them physical harm in any way. You will fall asleep if you're compelled to try. You'll just pass out instead.
Oh boy.
And as all of that just kind of fades for me and I have that feeling, I feel like my hands are going to move from the horn down to like the unicorn's like nose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to whisper, "Thank you."
And the unicorn actually nuzzles against your hands. And she no longer seems hostile, but very gentle and sweet. Meanwhile, Elle, where you're sitting in the bushes and everybody else is just focused on the unicorn right now. So they don't see what you've been doing. And Wiro whispers in your ear and goes, "Not bad. That wasn't how I expected you to do it, but not bad." And he goes, so, let's talk about uh, uh, Indigo Twinkle Twist. What do you want to know?
What has it done to this unicorn?
It's like cast a love spell upon her, forcing the unicorn's love, and binded it to herself.
Any way we can break this spell?
Lots of ways. Which uh, you could kill the fairy. You could force her to undo it. You could, oh, I don't know. You're creative. You could come up with some other ways on your own. Ask another question.
You are a tiresome dragon, you know that.
Oh, I could make this a lot more interesting if you want me to.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
He goes, keep the bracelet for now.
Well, what does the bracelet do?
For right now, it'll protect you from the fairy. And heal any wound, and keep you from poisons, diseases, curses. Just understand, you are going to give it to me someday. And you're going to give me something else too. And
if you're on about Iago, you're not having him, I can assure you that. You've got them lot to get through.
oh no. And he sends you a picture of yourself and him in his in the form of an elf. Of him taking an elven form and entangled around each other, and him wickedly and wantonly ravishing you. And he laughs in your head.
Oh, this asshole.
And Elle's just gonna chuckle and say, you think you'd be able to get that close? Trust me, with what I've learned, I reckon I could take you down from about 100 miles.
And he whispers and goes, not only can I take you, you'll want me to.
Oh, darling, you ain't that good.
And he laughs. And he goes, you know, someone else said that to me once too. And yet
And
we
I
had
bet she probably agrees.
And he goes, and yet here you are, her descendant, with me. And he goes away.
Wow. What an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
How dare he go away? I was enjoying this. Anyway, what?
And Elle's just gonna slip the bracelet on and just, like, return to the party. But maybe Mathan would notice that the tattoo on her is slightly out of place.
Actually, Mathin,
Yes.
make a wisdom roll. The tattoo on Elle has changed slightly in where it is and how it is. And you also spot that she's now wearing a very thin, just like a string bracelet made out of the unicorn hair. It's that same purple as the unicorn's tail.
Okay, so because I got a 12, can he have his suspicions about what had attacked the unicorn as it was walking in? Obviously, he doesn't know exactly what happened, but yeah, something.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's kind of he doesn't know why or how, but he's made the link that something latched onto the tail, and now Elle surprisingly has a unicorn hair bracelet. So and yeah, he sees the shift in the tattoo. He doesn't know what it means, but yeah,
Yeah.
his suspicions for Elle are ever growing.
I swear to God, Mathin and Elle's relationship is a fucking roller coaster.
I know the end of last time it seemed like it could turn, and this one's just like nope, back to God damn it, Elle. So yeah, he takes note of that, but
If the
it doesn't say
unicorn
anything.
sees the bracelet or senses it, it doesn't seem upset. It still kind of just has its nose pressed against Kethra, and says, "You are very brave. You all are very brave. But you are," but he's like, the unicorn makes eye contact with Kethra and goes, "But you are very brave." And then she starts turning and walking away.
The wolf gives an affirmative yip.
And Iago mimics the yip and punches the air with his hand, and then kind of hugs Kethra on her leg and goes, "Are you okay? Do you feel better? You look better."
And she's gonna kneel back down before the little boy and just hug him and say, "Yes, everything's gonna be okay."
And he kisses her cheek.
Oh, so cute.
Okay, group. What are you going to do?
Well, before we leave, Elle's actually going to walk over to Jaylin. And quietly talking to Jaylin only, is just going to say, "Can you promise me that if Wero ever gets his hands on me, you will kill me?"
Jaylin, of course, still a wolf, tilts his head and goes, "Huh?" Then he's gonna shift. He's gonna shift back, and he goes, "Let's hope that we don't have to cross that path."
And Elle sighs and says, "I don't think not crossing it is going to be an option. He's set his eyes on me."
Okay, everybody, role play among yourselves for 3 or 4 minutes. I will be right back.
No, I absolutely refuse. What is this, role playing in a role playing game? I mean, we're in a world with dragons and fairies, head. And the wolf isn't actually a wolf. It's a person who turns into a wolf.
Yes, there are many fairies.
I'm sorry, there's many what?
I like it. Can you say fairies again, please?
What, that there are many fairies?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I like this place. Can we just stay here the rest of the game?
Dance and frolic amongst the fairies.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need chat to spam the sploosh command, please.
Yeah, if you've got our emotes, now would be a time to use sploosh. If we don't, exclamation mark sploosh. So
I mean, I guess I feel a little better about the fact that you're getting that from the word fairy rather than the word I said earlier.
I think I'm gonna need to hear the word you said earlier again. Then.
No, see, you don't really want to because we were on about greetings, and they asked me what a greeting in Scottish would be.
Oh yeah.
And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, if it's someone you know, you probably just go up to them and go, "All right, Bob Ag." And apparently that sent everyone into floods, you know?
I could see that.
What the fuck?
Honestly, Martkos, these people only interested in you for your voice.
I think that's true, Elle. I really do.
That is not true. I also like him for his tanking.
I love him for his
Oh, wow.
tanking. I love him for his personality. I'd say I'd love him for his body, but that's a little too much.
I think you out Scottished Silver. Silver's like
Silver's been away for too long. I understood it.
Has nobody ever called you a ball bag, Silver?
I don't even know what those words were, but oh lord.
It's nobody, you uncouth swine.
No, it's nobody. It's nobody.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't matter.
It's just nobody. But yeah.
so.
I will be the Martkos to English translator.
No is nay in Scottish, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there are a
Scottish-
bunch of whores up there.
By the way, Scottish
I
Twitter is
mean
best
horse.
Twitter.
Oh
Hi,
There you
Glory.
go.
Are you okay?
man. Poor Glory. She's probably fanning herself right now. I support her in this.
Here's something from Scottish Twitter, right there in chat. I love Scottish Twitter.
Okay, so Ma bought Aldi shower gel that smells like fairy liquid, so I've been cutting about all day smelling like a fucking plate.
I love you all. All right. So back to Dungeon World.
Yeah, it's a supermarket chain here, Dojel.
Oh, really? You have it in America too?
Yeah, we have it. I actually love Aldi, but I don't think there's anyone. There's not one
Not
near us.
near here.
Anywhere near here, yeah.
Kroger owns our souls. Literally.
Really?
There's like 4 different grocery stores, but they're all owned by Kroger. Okay, the unicorn has walked back down off the stream. You guys have the option of just turning around and walking back out of the fairy glade, or you can.
Absolutely not. Jaylin's like, I made a deal.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
actually, now that he
Mathin's
shifted back,
definitely.
he goes, we need to take care of Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Mathin is
Kethra
up
will
there.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
And Elle's just going to look at all of them and say, that might not be as easy as you think. Indigo's got a unicorn and does some sort of love spell.
And I just look at Elle and I say, I don't care how hard it is. I owe her my life. We will do what we can to help this unicorn.
Oh, I'm not saying that we should give up. I'm just saying that any of you guys know how to break a love spell? Our gracious dragon host doesn't seem to want to tell me.
That's not real love.
No, it is not. Although he did mention that we could break it by killing him. Or her.
Kethra blushes like a lot when he says that.
Jaylin looks to Kethra and like gets that like I just had an idea look.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't say anything though. It's just that little glint in his eye. It's
You would have a glint in your eye. All right, party. Then you have a fairy to find in the fairy forest. The mischief scamp who had been laughing on the ground has vanished.
Hold on, I don't think I quite heard Laurel. Martkos, what did she say?
Really?
Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Hey, Silver, could you join the chat really quick and tell us what she said?
Can we just have a Scottish off?
I
No,
mean,
we get back to role playing.
okay, but like I need to get Marathion here soon. He has opinions about me streaming in Scottish.
Oh, really?
So we need to find Indigo. Any idea how we do that?
I mean, how else do we find things? We usually annoy the forest enough till it finds us.
We can't use that tactic here.
So, Laurel, I have an advanced move called Communion of Whispers. When you spend time in a place making note of its residents' spirits and calling on the spirits of the land, roll plus wisdom, you'll be granted a vision of significance to you, your allies, and the spirits around you. Would I be able to use that too?
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, as the others start talking about how we're going to find this person, Mathin moves away from the group a little bit, and he sits down like cross-legged in the glen, and he puts his staff across his knee, and he closes his eyes, and he just starts slowing his breathing, almost looking like he's meditating, but really he's just trying to attune himself to the land around him, to feel the spirits and to see what they are whispering about and speaking about.
All right, roll your wisdom.
So for that, on a 10 plus vision, on a 7 to 9, the vision is unclear, its meaning murky.
Okay. I am going to take one moment here and load 2 pictures.
Uh-oh.
Up into your...
2 pictures. I'm just like, ooh.
In your vision, you see a tall, as in she is as tall as any of you, Faerie with dressed dark with dark hair, who appears to be standing in some kind of ruins. It's not clear where specifically she is, but you see the moon over her head, and it happens to be dark now. So you just see the moon rising in outside the vision as well. So you get the sense that this could be the same time as you currently are.
Okay.
And there is a figure. It isn't clear whether he's horned or whether he's wearing a helmet, who is kneeling before her, who's dressed in skins and tattoos. And you see her saying, "There are strangers in the forest. They're meddling with my newest prize." And she goes, "Fix that for me, Plume." And he goes, "Yes, my lady." And he bows his head, and he kneels and puts it down, and he goes, "Do you wish them brought to you?" And she goes, and she kind of shrugs. And the vision ends.
Okay. So Mathin kind of comes back to himself, and His breathing returns to normal, and he gets to his feet and wanders back over to the others. And he says, I have spoken with the spirits of this land, and we may be in some trouble. I have seen this Faerie that cast a spell over the unicorn. She is, I think, somewhere nearby. The sky and the moon look the same as here, and he looks up, trying to peer through the trees. But she is sending someone to us to find us for meddling. And I am unsure if that is for the good or for bad. They may agree to take us to her.
We're just
If we
going to
play
have to
this
make
right.
sure she does.
Iago kind of nods and takes a deep breath. And he goes, well, the other fairies know where we are, so I suppose they'll probably come tell them, do you think? Like if she's the princess or something, do you think the fairies that stole the flute are her servants too?
And he looks down, Mathin looks down at Iago and nods, and he says it's entirely possible. Because the moon was sort of just rising in the vision, can he tell roughly like a direction from that?
Yeah, that it was to the, we'll say the north or the southwest, away
Okay.
from the stream.
Mm-hmm. So Mathin points in that direction. He says, I think she is in that direction. We can either wait here for this minion to find us, or we can start heading that way and hope to intercept them.
Up.
Yep.
Don't you roll dice. I don't like it when you roll dice.
I can roll dice if I want to.
No, you can't. Jaylin's gonna gather up his things. He's gonna look to Kethra. Let's say, let's go make good on our deal.
Kethra's going to get to her feet and nod to Jaylin and say, yep, there's no use waiting. Let's go find this minion.
Elle's actually going to hang to the back of the party and take the bracelet that she'd just obtained and slip it onto Iago's wrist.
And Iago kind of peers at it and goes, what's that for?
And I was just going to say to him, it'll keep you safe.
Okay, thank you.
But never let your uncle get his hands on it.
Oh, okay, I promise. And he kind of rubs it and goes, thank you. It feels powerful. And as the group kind of begins their exploration forward, some time passes, and you see other creatures within the fairy forest. None of them seem outright hostile. There is an owl that is midnight black with emerald eyes, and it's in one of the crooked trees, and it's very large. It's large enough that Iago could possibly ride it, and it's peering down from a huge branch at you all, and then it lets out, "Whoo, whoo."
Elle's gonna mimic it.
Does that mean anything to Mathin?
Mhm. No, Frank, was that the doorbell?
Yeah, that was the doorbell.
Just a moment.
Okay.
I imagine an owl that size, that who is very, very loud.
Ooh. Are you? Ooh, ooh. Wait, no.
I mean, I just think it wants to know who we are.
Either that or it's alerting somebody that we're here.
Too bad I can't shoot it down. That'd shut it up quick enough.
No violence, Al.
I know, I've abstained from killing while I'm here.
Thank you. And she kind of smiles because she knows that that's a really hard thing for Elle to do. Would Kethra notice the bracelet on Iago?
I reckon that she would, considering, like, Iago's probably looking at it with, like, what the hell is this? Eyes?
And she just asks the little boy where he got that. And I just imagine Iago just points at Elle and says, "She gave it to me. She said she'd keep it safe. Or she said it'd keep me safe." And I'm just going to turn to Elle and be like, "Really? What? Why? What is this?"
And Elle's just gonna lean in close to Kethra and just be like, it's unicorn hair. It will keep him safe from poison, disease, and curse.
Oh. Well, thanks. And now she feels dumb because she was about to be upset with her friend.
And Jaylin's like, unicorn hair? And then he
Well,
looks.
Jaylin's not, like, Elle was whispering that, so Jaylin wouldn't have heard.
Well, I mean, he's a wolf. I mean, not at the moment, but you know what I mean? No. He could have. They got good ears. No. No. Alright, fine. He doesn't. I'm just over here completely flustered by the fact that Paladin rolled a 1.
Does that mean time him out for 10 minutes now?
No.
Wow, Paladin, I think you kind of win for today.
Oh, wow. These rolls are horrible. Whose dice is it?
Sorry.
Probably Dio's. I mean, like, in the dice pool, like, because Dio woke up late, she got the last dice. And they happen to be the good ones today.
Oh, hey, Martkos rolled well. Everybody's rolling.
Dang,
Now.
Devil
Everybody's
Rose,
rolling.
that's amazing.
Panned out 17. I saw an 18 there. Haven't seen a 20 yet.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Welcome back.
No worries.
Okay. Where were we?
We were just talking
A
about
big owl was hooting at us.
owls. Yeah.
When you were asking if the owl
Was saying
meant by
anything.
that was saying anything.
Yeah.
Possibly. You sense that it is a magical fey creature.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, because Mathin can understand like animals and that. So I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't understand it then if it wasn't actually an animal.
It sounded like it was just curious and querying who you were.
Okay.
Iago looks up at it and says to Elle, "That would make a wonderful mount."
And Elle just chuckles and says, "Want me to try and tame it for you?"
Hmm, probably not. Mathin was saying it's bad for things of this place to leave and go outside the forest. It might not like it there.
Yeah, but I think Mathan fell and got a stick up his ass.
And Iago giggles and he goes, "That was mean."
Mean, but true.
What does everybody want to do?
Remove the stick from Mathan's ass.
Uh,
That would be a charisma roll.
I would like to not regard every boss we meet as a possible mount.
There's your charisma.
Well,
Well, this is awkward.
Mathin, you hear the two of them talking about sticks up your ass.
Yeah, he's not pleased by that.
Elle offers a smile like, "Ha, I was kidding."
the Jaylin walks over and claps a hand on Mathin's shoulder and goes, "Somehow I will find a way for you to get a break from all of this one day."
And yeah, I kind of like almost wistful look crosses his face as he remembers the days where he just wandered the forest and yeah, sorted out his minor troubles and then he just nods.
Everyone, roll wisdom.
Nope.
Mathin, you are the only one who Elle, you get a sense, or I'll take back. Elle, you get a sense that somebody is now watching you all, but you're not sure from where. Mathin, you are the one who sees uh up in one of the trees to the side of you, kind of as you were you were talking to Jaylin, you happened to be looking in the right direction. A figure, um a horned figure crouching in the tree branches.
Would Kethra
Okay.
also get the sense of that they're being watched?
No, because it got an 8 on itself.
Okay.
So everybody else actually rolled low or lower than it did.
Looks, he just kind of steps past Jaylin and calls out, I know you're there, and I know why you're here. You might as well just come down and show yourself.
And there's a sound of something moving through the shadows towards you all. And Mathin, defy danger.
Is it my choice or?
I think that was a yeah. She cut it out for
Yeah,
me.
sorry.
Okay.
So you can um move, sidestep whatever was being thrown, but you're going to leave your back exposed to that big black owl. And as you do so, the big black owl suddenly swoops down towards the group as a whole. Everybody else can take an action.
So wait, we're being beset upon? Oh, nice wank there, Paladin.
While it's swooping, can Elle attempt to jump on its back?
Elle can. Roll dex, roll well. Describe your owl ride.
Well, I reckon she'd jump on its back and start, like, not trying to hurt it, but trying to divert its path and try to, like, maybe tame it.
Taming, no. Divert it, yes.
Damn, owls not being tameable.
I know, right?
A moist owlet.
So,
Yes, she does.
Jaylin, what do you want to do?
What do I want to do? I suppose now that we're aware of the horned figure in the... Because of that, huh?
Yeah.
What can I do?
I know what Kethra's doing.
I can throw my shield.
Look, I thought we said no killing.
What is Kethra going to do?
Kethra is going to dive out of the way and use her body to shield Iago because she does not know what's happening and she does not want to risk that little boy getting hurt.
Excellent. I won't make you roll for that.
Yeah, Jaylin's just going to put himself at the front of the group, his shield out. Like, he's just ready for, like, he's bracing for something else.
Make a defense roll.
I don't know what a defense roll would be.
Defend is... Let me roll there. I believe it's Constitution.
I'm going to roll con, then.
Yeah, it's Constitution.
That's a fail.
Poor Jaylin. On a 6-, mark XP and the GM will make a move.
Oh, yay.
Roll 1d6, Jaylin.
You like those sixes?
You have your shield out. You are in a protective stance over the group.
Passage of arms.
Yep. From the shadow, the minion named Plume throws a bola, and it wraps around your legs, and down you go.
Okay.
He's throwing another one at Mathin. Mathin, you get to make another Defy Danger dex.
Okay.
There you go. You get out of the way. Elle, you are in the back of the owl. And it's just trying to shake you off. It's like going through the tree branches, trying to basically brush you off its back. And it's time for you to make another Defy Danger dex roll to remain on the owl and keep it out of commission as it's busy trying to just deal with you.
Hold on. If I successfully do this, I have a plan for what I want to try and do with the owl.
Okay. What was your plan?
Well, my plan was Elle was going to try and tug on its feathers to try and steer it in a certain direction, and maybe try and make the owl dive bomb into the one
Yeah.
attacking the group.
It careens in that direction, but it doesn't quite reach him, and he appears to be very nimble because he leaps off the branch that he was on and leaps to another branch just before you and the owl careen into where he was. And meanwhile, now he's throwing another bola. And Kethra, it's your turn to either make a defense roll or an attack roll and deal with the bola that's headed towards you or defy danger.
I will make a defense roll, so that's Constitution.
Yes. You are able to basically block it.
Okay.
So the bola does not hit Iago. And at this point in time, with the moonlight and all, you can see the figure pretty well. And Mathin, you definitely recognize it from your vision.
Okay.
And Mathin, it is your turn to act. Jaylin just went down, and it's going to take him a moment or 2 or 10
Nah.
to get that bola around away from its
Nah, because I'm gonna bend bars, lift gates.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I don't like the vantage point that this guy has, and he's causing too much trouble. So, I picked up a bow, I think last session.
Yes, you did.
So can I attempt to shoot an arrow at him?
Yes, you can.
So that's Dex, right?
Yes, for a volley.
Oh yeah, so he's allowed to kill.
Not on that
Oh,
roll.
no.
He's not.
No, he's not allowed to do anything on that roll.
So, Mathin, I am going
Yes.
to give you a choice.
Awesome.
Basically you're still new with this particular bow.
Mhm.
So either A, you just snapped yourself in the face with it, and you
Okay.
take a point of damage, or the arrow went wild and there's a possibility of collateral damage.
I'll take my point of damage, I think.
All right. So
Aw, that's so fun.
basically you and remembering from Girl Scout camp and remembering doing this to myself, you basically pull wrong, snap yourself in the face with the bow, and drop the bow.
Okay.
Your opponent laughs and makes his own roll.
Meow DX cat.
And throws another bola at your throat, but he misses you and it goes off wild. Jaylin, you want to bend bars.
Bend bars, lift gates.
Lift gates. This is an enchanted cord around you. So your difficulty is 1 higher than normal. However, with a 13, it snaps.
He lets out a roar as he basically snaps it in 2. Then he just picks it up and drops the pieces in front of him, challengingly. He's back on his feet.
All right. Elle, you and the owl are having your battle of wills and wits.
You know, I never thought I'd enter into battle of wits with an owl.
All right. Roll your dex, beat a 9. You remain on the owl's back. And at this point in time, you can cause it to careen into something or someone.
I'm gonna choose for it to careen into frickin' Hornhead over there.
Hornhead is knocked off the tree. And roll 1d6 for me. Actually, roll 1d8 for me.
Alright.
Get more than a 2. Roll 1d8. Oh, nope, 2. Okay, so Plume falls out of the tree, takes an owl to the back because he was distracted by watching Jaylin roar. And he comes crashing out, lands badly, and is dazed for a second.
And I am marching in his direction.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Let's see. We don't want to kill him, huh? I would actually like to, let's think about this. I'd like to make a hack and slash, but I would like to, hold back on damage if possible. Jaylin wants to pick him up off the ground and basically pin him against a tree.
Go ahead and roll your hack and slash. Get above a 10, and I'll let you pick how much damage you do.
How about a 12?
Absolutely. So describe exactly what you do.
So he literally just walks over and he grabs the crumpled form up off the ground, right? And like by the neck, and just slams him back against a tree, and is holding his hand against his throat, holding him against a tree.
And are his feet dangling a little?
Uh-huh.
And he kind of glares at you defiantly, but you have him perfectly pinned.
And he goes, "This is my nice side."
And he licks his lips and he goes, "It is very nice." And he's smiling. That same weird smile that Elle gets in combat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You can get out of this with your life if you help us."
Help you in what way?
We have business with Indigo.
Funny, she has business with you. I'll be happy to escort you to her.
No tricks?
I'll just need you to help me.
He raises a brow. In what way?
He goes, pretend to be my prisoners.
I would like to make a spout lore roll.
Do it.
I want to see what he knows about the Fae. Intelligence, huh? Oh, a 9.
The Fae don't outright lie, but they never tell a complete truth. And the only way to guarantee their word is to make them swear an oath.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to know, if he can make him promise. Because I want you to swear to me that if we pose as your prisoners, there will be no tricks. You will lead us to her, and you will not bring us any harm.
And he sort of smiles and he goes, and he takes this and he takes a moment and he ponders and goes, I can swear better when I can breathe properly. Perhaps you could remove your hand.
He goes, you seem to be talking just fine right now. And he tightens his grip.
He makes a bit of a sound.
And then he loosens it a little bit again.
He goes, "What's your name?"
He's actually hesitant for a second, as if giving his name is a bad thing. He goes, "I am called Jaylin."
"All right, Jaylin. By the oak and the ash and the thorn, I give my word that should you and your companions come along posing as my prisoners, I will not harm you, and I will not beguile or trick you, and I shall take you straight to Lady Indigo."
Jaylin looks to the others and goes, "Is that good enough for you?"
And Mathin nods and says, I think that's about as best we're going to get.
And so Jaylin lets him go.
Elle,
Yes.
you and the owl.
Yes, me and the owl.
The owl at this point, upon Plume giving his word not to trick or beguile, sort of sighs and flies down onto a branch close to where he is, and sort of just sighs. It's like, fine, fine. Doesn't say it, but it gives you that whole expression. It's just kind of like waiting for you to get off its back.
And Owl's gonna hop off and just pet the owl and be like, hey, let's do that again sometime.
And the owl seems to be considering this, with sort of a sour expression on its face.
Who knows, maybe you'll win. But I highly doubt it. I'm rather good at holding on to feathers.
And it like ruffles its. Kethra,
Yes.
you now have the Fae who gets dropped and kind of lands in a crouch and is lifting itself off and dusting itself off. And the owl appears to definitely be its companion of some kind, and just sort of settled. Is there anything you want to say or do?
You know, yes, I'm gonna walk up to the because I imagine I've seen the whole thing between Jaylin and the plume.
Yes.
And I just want to walk up to it and say, "You think he was bad? No tricks, or we will end your life."
And he kind of smirks at you, and he goes, "I would never trick someone as beautiful as you." He goes,
Jaylin clears his throat.
without, and he goes, "At least I would never kill one as beautiful as you."
And I just kind of smile, but it's not like a warm smile. It's more of a kind of a wicked smile. And I just say, "I can't make the same promise." And I just kind of stroke his cheek a little bit. And then I wink at Jaylin.
And he kisses your palm.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I'll stay up in the tree with the owl. It's more safe up there at this point.
I just sent you a quick message. Would you like to sleight of hand? Use your old skills. Yes. Roll dex.
Yes, I would.
Describe for me what you lift off of him without him being aware.
So while he is distracted and kissing the palm of my hand, I am going to slip the there's a very pointed piece of jewelry sticking on on his index finger, and I'm just going to slip that off and with my other hand and slip that into my pocket.
Excellent. As you slip it off into your pocket, you can see that it's very sharp on the end, and looks very interesting and useful. We'll get into that when you have an opportunity to study it more.
Okay.
But he doesn't seem to realize you just stole it right away, and his focus is too much on everything else. And so Plume begins to lead you all further to the northwest for about an hour. And then you're getting close to the moon now is high in the night sky. And he turns and he looks at you all and he goes, I have to bind you. I have to bind your hands. But I'll bind you loose. And then he gestures at Jaylin and he goes, besides, you can clearly break it. We just need to make sure she doesn't know that I know that.
Okay.
And at this point in time, he knows all of your names. And he goes, Kethra.
Yes. And she is like flirting with him hardcore.
Yeah. And he's smiling and he goes, kiss me. Please.
Really?
Really.
And she kind of looks over at Jaylin because he is not going to like this.
Oh, no, Jaylin does not like this at all. Jaylin doesn't look happy about this at all.
And she's just going to place a hand on Jaylin's cheek and say, do you trust me?
Always.
Okay. I need you to be okay with this. And then she's going to turn back to Plume and she's going to kiss him.
And Elle's going to cover Iago's eyes.
And he kisses you in a very sensual way and then moves and brushes his lips across your ear and whispers something there. And then he proceeds to bind your hands first and then everyone else. And he sends the owl away. He sends the owl in the opposite direction.
Actually, I've got a question about the owl, Laurel.
Yes.
While Elle was wrestling with it, would any of its feathers have come loose that she could have pocketed?
Absolutely.
Aha, that may be an offering to Belle.
Absolutely.
Interesting. And I'm just going to smile at Plume as he binds my hands.
And he smiles back. And he's still smiling that same smile as he moves to Jaylin's hands.
Jaylin holds out his hands like he's been down this road before.
And he loops it around. And he pauses in front of him and he goes, "Kiss me."
Jaylin looks to Kethra. Like questioning, like, do I?
And I just nod.
He goes, I have no idea what you're after. And he leans in and kisses him.
And he kisses him in the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
And he whispers in his ear.
What does he whisper?
There's a lot of making out in this session.
And then he looks.
Jaylin's eyes flash yellow.
And then he moves to Martkos, and it's his turn with his hands.
So
Wait,
Mathan.
Martkos is in this?
It's
game?
Mathin.
Well, no,
Sorry.
Martkos himself is there. Because really, come on, who doesn't want a kiss from Martkos? I mean, wait, what?
Sorry.
To be fair, I think Laurel was thinking about kissing him. That's what brought that on.
Freudian slip. Sorry, guys. Mathin. And he does the same routine. As he's binding his hands, he's saying, "Kiss me."
Mathin just kind of looks at Jaylin quickly and then at Kethra and just kind of shrugs and leans in.
I love how everybody's just agreeable to this.
Hey, you started it.
You'd be surprised what Jaylin will agree to. I mean, what?
And he whispers in your ear. And then, last but not least, he turns to Elle and he says, "Oh, beautiful owl rider, kiss me," as he starts to bind her hands.
And she says, no. And she actually moves her shoulder, kind of gesturing to the mark of Wero, and says, quite honestly, I don't think he would like it.
And he cocks his head and he looks at the mark and he goes, "I don't recognize that, but I accept what you say." And he kind of shrugs.
She chuckles and says under her breath, you'd recognize it if he'd kissed me.
Comprehension goes through his eyes and he goes, "Oh, you are not free yourself, are you? It makes sense now." And he proceeds to take you all, and he's sort of leading you up a hill. But the hill, instead of going all the way up, you go up about halfway and you see two piles of stones. And he sort of gestures between the stones and to Mathin, and he goes, "You first, Druid."
And he looks him in the eye and says, "Remember your oath," and then starts walking forward.
And then he goes, "You next, warrior." To Jaylin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he goes, and "And you and the boy, beautiful Kethra."
And I just nod and follow Jaylin and Mathin.
Yeah, Jaylin's really good at looking like a dejected prisoner.
And he goes, "And last but not least, Owl Rider." And he kind of gives you a bow, And he goes, "After you."
And as she walks past, she's just gonna say, "By the way, can I have the owl?"
No. She's mine.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't kiss you now.
Double rose.
She goes, and he just smirks. And as the group goes through the barrow stones, an entrance opens, and you're suddenly in uh, a different place, where you're on kind of a hill, and you see the ruins of some kind of fortress or castle that's old, and sitting upon a stone throne with her wings outstretched is Indigo. And she goes, "About time, Plume. I've been waiting and waiting." And she clicks her nails against the stones. And she goes, "Ah, what lovely new servants you brought me." And she raises her hand back and starts to chant. And glamour ripples along the air around everybody. Elle, make a constitution check.
Hey, Laurel.
Yeah.
I have a really bad question for right now. It has nothing to do with game.
Okay.
Would you like anything from Pizza Hut?
Yes.
Okay.
Elle, the kiss that Plume gave everyone else is protecting them from this. Wiro could have chosen to protect you from this, but he chose not to.
He's
What
an
a-
asshole.
And so the glamour ripples through you. And suddenly she is the most beautiful, most perfect, most wonderful creature that you have ever known. And you you know it's not your will to serve her and to do as she commands. But you can't not for the rest of this scene.
So,
So,
does that also mean Iago is affected?
no, Iago is also is uh actually, you know what? Let's make a roll. Elle,
Did you say something about the unicorn bracelet?
the unicorn bracelet
It
I
doesn't protect from fairy magics.
doesn't protect from fairy magics. I decided because it enchanted the unicorn as Elle.
Okay.
Roll 2d6 for Iago.
2d6.
2d6.
Oh,
He's spellbound where he isn't going to act for her, but he also can't act under his own initiative. So he's kind of frozen in place for the rest of the scene.
well, Jaylin's not happy.
He's a very young dragon. And
Because I was gonna say, if dragon blood makes him immune, that would make Elle immune too.
no, he's not quite so lucky. Um the rest of you, you can feel the magic passing over you all, and you just know that in that kiss that Plume had protected you from her, and as sort of a gift, but now he expects you to do as what he whispered.
Jaylin steps forward and then moves to one knee and says, "What would you have us do, my lady?"
And she smiles and she stretches away from her throne and she walks toward you. And she's bending down to kind of cup her hand underneath your chin and raise it up. And she says, "Oh, what beautiful eyes you have. What sort of creature are you? You're not human despite your appearance." And everybody can take a move except for Elle and Iago.
Might I show her what kind of creature I am?
Oh, yes, I was so hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah.
He would like to shift.
Absolutely.
Can I break the very loosely, the bond, the very
Yes.
loosely, yeah.
We're going to just add that in to everything else you're doing, so you only need to make one roll.
All right. Well, then I am going to be making a hack and slash roll, because what big teeth he has. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. So basically, as he explodes up from his knee onto both feet again and into like his full size as the werewolf, he's going to make a bite. He's just going to chomp down, going for the throat. So that's gonna be strength because this is not precise. 9.
All right. So you are going to have an opportunity to make an attack upon her. She is either going to be able to she's going to be able to respond unless you manage to kill her. Roll your damage and roll well.
Welcome, pony.
11.
That's very well. So give us some gory details of what you do.
Is this going to kill her?
Yes.
So basically, like I said, he was down on one knee, and she lifts his chin, and she looks into his eyes and asks what manner of creature he is, and the eyes are the first part to shift, and then like the rest of his face does as he starts to stand, and then soon he's towering over her, and as she looks up, he just chomps down right at her throat and rips it open.
She has just enough time to let out a little cry of pain, and then her throat is torn out and her wings are a mess, and her lifeless body falls upon the floor. And the whole area that you are in suddenly shudders and twists, and you hear this huge snapping sound. And Elle, you are no longer enchanted. And Plume lunges forward towards her body, and he puts his mouth down and he starts drinking her blood.
Jaylin's already acted, so he can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem right.
Elle's looking at Jaylin and just being like, "I thought we weren't killing."
Can Mathin make a move to knock Plume away from her?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's just going to go like barreling towards both of the bodies and just try and kind of like shoulder Plume away from her body.
Absolutely. Roll and don't botch.
She said don't botch.
Like that, you mean?
That's like the exact opposite of what she said to do.
As you're barreling towards him, he puts up one hand, and a wall of force just draws you back to the wall. He pins you to the wall with the force, but he doesn't hurt you. He just has you pinned with it. And as he continues to drink her blood, her body starts to turn to ash, like those little spots that you remember how Elle had in her hand. And he begins to glow. And the crown that she was wearing now appears upon his brow. And you and Kethra you both have your instincts. Well, actually, everybody may have the right instincts to realize that he just usurped her power by drinking her blood as she was dying. And now he is the lord of the fairy forest.
And through gritted teeth, Kethra was like, "You swore no tricks."
I swore not to trick you. And I didn't. He goes, and he stands up. And he's taller now. And he still has that wild look to him. But you can sense that his own magic has grown threefold. And he goes, the unicorn is free. She is one of my gifts to you. And he smiles at Kethra. And he sort of bows. And he goes, really? And then turns to Jaylin and he goes, but you were the one to deliver the death blow that I could not. I wish to reward you as well, warrior.
Jaylin is standing there in his werewolf form, not attacking. So that's the way of saying I'm listening, because he hasn't lunged at him yet.
And he looks at you and he goes, that is a fine sword. And that is a fine shield. But the rest of you is ill protected. Would you accept a gift of armor?
He looks down at himself and he goes, eh. He shifts and he goes, no catches?
I have given you my word that I will not harm you, nor any tricks against you. And yours. And he gestures around at everyone else. He goes, this is merely my reward of gratitude for doing what I could not.
Then I accept.
And he moves and he walks in a circle around you 3 times. And as he does so, some greenish or silverish armor with a green tint begins to form around Jaylin. And Jaylin, what kind of armor are you most comfortable wearing? Like scale or leather, plate?
Actually, probably plate would be good here, because he comes with chainmail. Like that's what the fighter starts with.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're gonna say this is an armor upgrade, he would probably be stepping up from chain to plate.
So you get Fae plate. It's a sort of a beautiful silver hue, and the weight is 1 less than normal plate, and it gives the normal plate, what is plate 3 protection?
No, plate is well. Let me actually look at what plate does. In his werewolf form, he has 3 armor already naturally, but out of it, he has 1 armor. So I'm looking to see what plate is.
Plate is 3.
Plate's
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
So basically now you have 3 plus your shield would be 4 armor in your human form. And your werewolf will go up to 4 as well. It won't appear on you, in your werewolf form or your wolf form, you'll just have a sort of a silverish green hue upon you, but this will shift with you.
Lovely.
It just won't appear as armor in your other forms.
Okay.
And then he goes, the unicorn for Kethra, the armor for Jaylin. And he goes, Mathin, would you accept a gift from me?
Is Mathan still being held, or can he move?
He can move now.
Okay, yeah. He walks forward a little, and he says, "There is one thing I would ask of you.
What is that?
I would have you extend your oath that you made to us to this forest. If you are going to take this role, I would have you be a protector, not as this fairy queen or princess had been."
He goes, it's against my nature and the nature of the Fae to swear to not trick or beguile anyone. But as my gift for you, I will swear to defend this forest and to protect it, and that none of my tricks against it and those who live there will bring permanent harm. Would you accept that?
And Mathan nods and he says, "I will accept that."
And he swears that oath, and he smiles. And then he smiles at Elle, and he goes, I would give you something, but you didn't kiss me. Would you kiss me now?
She laughs and just says, "Your funeral," and meaning a yes.
And he moves towards her, and as he kisses her, he puts his hand on the mark, and you hear Wiro in your head giggling. And as he kisses you, you can feel the two of them making a pact of mutual alliance against common enemies. And then he draws back and he goes, you like daggers.
Indeed, I do, but I like owls too.
And then he smiles and he goes, you can't have Ebony. She's mine. But, and he gestures, and in his hand, a egg appears in a shimmering ball of energy. And it's about the size of a softball. The egg itself, and then what's the ball that's surrounding it, starts kind of cools and hardens. And he goes, but this is yours. He goes, when you're at a time and place that you can spend a few days and you're ready to take care of an owlet, goes, her daughter will be yours.
And Elle just bows and just says, I thank you, and takes the egg and hides it away.
And he goes, now I'm about to summon the Fae, and we're going to have a magnificent feast and dancing and frolicking, and the entire forest is going to celebrate my new rule. He goes, but because I gave my oath to not trick you and not hurt you. I'm going to send you away first.
And Jaylin
Because-
actually speaks up and goes, "That's a great idea."
And he laughs. He just throws back his head and laughs.
He has no idea where he learned so much about the Fae, but apparently he knows about the Fae.
And he goes, any final words, my new friends?
I'm not one to tell you how to run your domain, but I hope that we ever come back through, that we do it as allies.
I hope so too, Jaylin.
And Elle, a smirk appears on Elle's face, and she just says, "By the way, tell Wiro that I say hello."
Absolutely.
And I suppose we can set off from there. I'm going to ask that we wrap up there. I think that was probably
Yes.
the plan anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I have physical therapy still today, and he's going to be here within like 20 minutes or so.
Yes. So basically, the new prince of the forest is going to clap his hands, and you guys are going to emerge on the other side of the forest. But you're not going to emerge alone. There's going to be somebody from the fairy forest with you. And we will get to that with next game and with our Yumi present.
Yeah, she's in chat right now.
Yay!
So,
Which means Yumi will know. Yumi, you got to sneak out, and you made no such promises not to trick or beguile them. That was just the prince himself.
And Jaylin is just like, from one prince to another. I hope we stay friends.
And that is where we wrap up, guys.
Guys, that was Dungeon World for today. I want to say thank you for those of you who hung out and made this really enjoyable. Chat was fantastic today. I was over here cracking up a lot. You guys are incredible. I'm glad that we just get to share this with you guys and you guys enjoy it. There'll be more Dungeon World next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be back tomorrow morning with probably some Final Fantasy 14, or we might. It depends. I feel like we need to probably check and make sure that we get our our weekly stuff out of the way, because I still haven't done like 04 and stuff like that, and we should probably do that before the patch. Tuesday will be our subathon. I'll be starting at the normal time. The clock will start at 3 hours. Subs and resubs will add to the timer. There will be giveaways, chances for more. Oh no, the apple's on the floor. Devil Rose doesn't. Devil Rose wants to stay for more. Is booing because we're leaving. Aw, I'm sorry. I'm gonna shoot a host over to a friend. We got lots of friends out there. Go say hi to them. I'm sorry, Daryl. I'm sorry. But I do want to say thanks. You guys made this morning awesome, and thank you players for being here too, and for a great game. And Yumi, I cannot wait to meet your character. Oh my god. I had so much fun with what your character is in the other game, so I know you're going to enjoy that.
That's certainly going to be interesting after knowing what they play like.
Oh man. Like, my following list is only 13 people. Like, there's like nobody on right now. Wait, Happy's? It says Happy's on, but he's not showing in my following list. Is it a vodka?
No, he tweeted that he was going live today.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to host Happy. No, I'm not. I'm going to host Shamanam. Shamanam's on too. My following list is just broken. So we're going to... I'm going to throw a host to Shamanam. He's a member of the Aethernet with me, an incredible team of Final Fantasy 14 broadcasters. Keep an eye out on the Aethernet Twitter, at the Aethernet as well, because there's going to be something coming up. I can't talk about it yet, but just keep an eye out there. That being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Until then, bye!
See you later, everybody.
Bye.